So we've got ourselves a welcome back. It's been a few weeks, more than that. I think more than a month. Um, Not really any good reasons. I was sick. I forgot a couple weeks. March Madness happened, which is probably the best excuse I have out of that whole stretch. Just going and hanging out with some friends there. So some fun things, some not fun things. If you ever get a chance to rupture an eardrum, don't do it. It's not fun. It hurts. And you can't hear for a little bit. On the bright side, that seems to have mainly taken care of itself. Anyways, one of the big months here in, or big things here in April is that is Financial Literacy Month. This is one of those spots that is incredibly important. Luckily, here in Wisconsin, where I live, we have put in as state law that all high school students need to graduate with at least a half credit of personal finance. So that is more or less one semester of personal finance. And I applaud um, everyone that was involved in getting that taken care of a couple of years ago because that is so important to have that education. I know that coming out of the high school, the K 12 area, and having taught personal finance, the students don't get it at home oftentimes. And a lot of that is because they don't know, which kind of gets us into the topic of today, which is what is financial counseling? So, the first thing that I'm going to say is financial counseling is not financial advising. So, I'm not here to tell you what stocks and bonds to buy, what mutual funds, what to invest in for retirement, or anything else. I can teach you about all of those things if you don't know what they are, but I am not here in an advisory role that way. So that's one of the big things that seems to be a common misconception among people as we talk about financial counseling is they immediately think financial advising. So there may be times where we talk and you'll get referred to a financial advisor, or we may go through and try to find a good one for you that is going to fit what your financial goals are. But I won't do that for you. I am not licensed for it, so I cannot do it. What financial counseling is think of it a little bit like sitting through a financial or personal finance class. I'll be there to teach you what you need to know. We will go through and we can discover what your financial goals are, and we can look at the steps of how to be able to get there, whether that is setting up those budgets, learning about different types of um, retirement plans, or how to fund your children's college education, which is also one of those big spots to that a lot of people either miss or don't completely understand, because there's a lot of different ways to go about doing that beyond just the state's 529 plan. You can always find other ways to pay for college, and I'm here to be able to help discover what is going to best fit you and your family. So if you're looking at whether it's I'd like to be able to buy a house, am I able to? I need to help. I need to get a budget. I've got too much debt. Um, you're looking at setting up for when you're in retirement, when your kids go to college, or all kinds of other things within that area. That's when I'm going to come in and be able to assist you on being able to meet those goals. Um, Trying to work with one particular couple right now that he would like to ensure that his wife can stay home and take care of their daughter and be able to homeschool her. And in today's economy, that can be tough because everything costs a lot. What used to seem like a good chunk of change, you know, making say $50,000 to $60,000 a year, it's still hard for that individual at that dollar amount to be able to afford a house, cars, food, utilities, the insurance, all of the normal stuff that more or less becomes requirements of life. So to be able to look at that goal can be daunting for some people, and they're going to want or need some help from someone with an outside perspective, maybe to come in, have some different ideas, look at a couple different things, help them be able to prioritize what's really matters to us. Does having a certain subscription matter, or can I take and do whatever else and go that way? All of those different things are there. So those are the types of areas that I'm going to be looking at and being able to help you with. One of the big things right now that I know is on everyone's mind is the tariffs. That continues to be, a big thing in the news everywhere. So more or less, if you've paid attention to the news at all, you know about it. I'm not an economist. I'm not on either side of this issue, one way or the other. I don't know what's going to happen. I find it encouraging that some countries are coming to the negotiating table and willing to negotiate. Maybe that will mean better prices for us. Maybe it doesn't. What I do know, for the most part, it's affected the stock market. We're not necessarily seeing a lot of change yet in the overall economy. And no, the stock market and the economy are not the same thing. The biggest thing that I continue to see, there was a report, where inflation had dropped again in February. I think the last I saw, 2.4, 2.5, something like that may have been it. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember the number off the top of my head that well. But that's where I look at different things, especially with the tariffs, because it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here with April's numbers as we get there, because that's where we're really going to see the tariffs have an effect on the prices as we go through April and into May. We may not fully see it yet. It's hard to tell. The other thing, the unemployment rate has not necessarily made major jumps as far as I've seen. So those are areas that, as of right now, they're doing okay. So overall, the economy continues on as it has. That doesn't mean that we may not be headed towards something. And there again, that becomes something that if you're concerned about and you're unsure of how to handle it, we can talk about it, because every person is going to have a different level of risk that they're willing to take on. And if you are not willing to take on a higher level of risk, maybe you're concerned that the economy is going to take a downturn and you work in an industry that is very, very vulnerable. That is when you want to take and start having more savings set aside, because you may be headed into one of those stormy seasons where you're going to want to have it, because the likelihood of you losing your job, unfortunately, is going up. So just some thoughts, kind of what we look at, what we do as financial counselors. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I've got my email there, and I would love to be able to help you and just see you be able to reach your financial goals. And as always, hit the like and subscribe button. That helps this get out to more people, so that way we can maybe be able to help even more people. Thank you.